Hello, I am your host, Dean Gilmore at Settled, the only lawsuit show about lawsuits and finances and your financial life as you go through a lawsuit. Again, my name is Dean Gilmore. I am your happy host today. We are going to review a few cases, actually, that are in the news right now and get into the specifics of how the not really just the lawsuit, but the financial aspect of it. We have three great cases that we want to look at today and talk about. And we are going to start with the first one, which is a tragic accident in Chattanooga, Tennessee. This was a week ago Tuesday. It was a very, 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 very bad accident. And we're just gonna go over some points about this. Unfortunately, in this accident, it looks like at least six children were dead. I believe that the numbers are even worse than that when you think of it, because there were 37 students aboard. 20 of them injured, some critically. Six students, like I said, unfortunately died. They are Ziana Harris, I apologize, Cordaja Jones, Zoe Nash, Keontae Wilson, Demoon Brown, and Zahira Mateen. Maybe the hardest six names that I have ever said back to back to back to back. I'm sorry if I mispronounced some of those. Most likely I did. But let's get to the interesting point about this, and the point that where lawsuits come in. And this is the district attorney speaking, Amy Dunn, and John Thoney Walker, um, attorneys. I don't know if maybe it's just me, but South Carolina has some very difficult names. So where do we start with this? Oh gosh. So unfortunately, this bus is a 2008 bus. It did not have seat belts at all. Records show that release show that the driver was actually, there were complaints that were made against him by the children, saying that he drove too fast and things like that. But he also made complaints against the children, saying that he would tell them where to stand or certain things not to do, and they would do it. None of this has anything to do with the crash. But what does have to do with the crash is that this was not Mr. Walker's first accident with the school bus. In September, he was charged with sideswiping a Kia Soul. Fortunately, no one was injured. Walker was not cited at the scene, but was found to be at fault. So, he was in a previous accident not too long ago, and this accident, and where do this is a definitely a case of the driver most likely being at fault. Um, it is going to be a case that is going to take some time. There are going to definitely be lawsuits filed. And that is where we get into the talk about what happens after this lawsuit's filed. How do these parents get some relief through monetary value? Nothing is worth a life at all, but we do know that lawsuits will happen. Now, this was a privately owned bus. It was a private owned company. that has had 142 crashes with injuries and 3 fatalities in the last 2 years. This is according to the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. Durham, which is this school district, operates thousands of school buses in several states. They got a satisfactory rating, but it also lags behind its peers on road performance. Whew. This is going to be a devastating lawsuit for all involved. Definitely for the parents of all of these children. The 37, even though they aren't injured, we all know that mentally these children are injured. And so this company is definitely going to get sued. Their insurance company is definitely going to be involved in that lawsuit, I am assuming. And I don't know what their policies are, but the thing about lawsuits that is something that a lot of people may not be aware of is that an insurance company normally cannot go above its insurance limits um, when it comes to an accident. So if you have $1 million policy, these parents would all have to split that $1 million, which in this case we know is it would be tragic at 37. At 37 cases that are against them, and it's one of those cases where nothing, like we said before, nothing takes the no monetary gain will ever take the place of losing a life. But also too, you do want a situation where if something like this does happen, there is adequate insurance to be able to cover all the lawsuits that may come, the wrongful death lawsuits and everything like that. And this is something that we are going to be interviewing attorneys about. On a case like this, with so many people injured, how does a lawsuit break down? How is one parent's loss decided different from another parent's loss? There are a lot of things that go into wrongful death cases. There are a lot of things that go into what the settlements amounts are going to be. And this is something that I want to have you all learn. So we will be interviewing some experts in this field. We will be interviewing someone with the insurance industry. We will be interviewing some attorneys also. And we will get back to you more with that so that we can know or be taught how these things happen and how a lawsuit like this is actually settled and settled appropriately. So definitely catch us later on for that case. It is going to be a a wonderful learning experience to understand the dynamics of a case as big and as tragic as this and how these parents will be compensated. So this is our first story. This is the Chattanooga school crash. Just to go over some facts, this happened over a week ago, a little over a week and a half ago, I apologize for that. A week and a half ago, the school bus driver has had his first day in court 2 days ago. And unfortunately, in this accident, there were a total of 37 children that were in the accident, and 6 of them passed, and 20 of them were injured, some critically. So, this is just a recap. So we will be going for expert opinions on this case. So, if you have any questions or concerns, please leave your comments. Please let us know how you feel about this. How do lawsuits like this normally end? How is it divided up? If you are an expert on this topic, we'd love to hear from you at Lawsuit Funding Capital. My name again is Dean Gilmore. Thank you for this lawsuit of the day. Smile. See you soon.